For me, there are two moments. Let's first, me as a leader, entrepreneur, when I'm surround myself with people that go in the other direction.
Wow.
Because when you find,
Whoa. Whoa. Wait a minute. Nope. Hold on. Hold on. That just hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know what it did for you. But the question I just asked him, I said, what what are some of the hardest moments to stay focused and determined? And he said, did you say following the people who are going in opposite
when I'm
direction or
surrounded myself with people who go in the other direction.
my God. Woo! Hey, Entre Leaders. Happy Wednesday and welcome to another episode of the Leaders Lab podcast. If you are new here, I am your host, Dr. Charity C. Campbell, better known as Dr. C, and I'm a doctor of management, a world-class millennial global leader, an academic professional, and multi-passionate entrepreneur. Here in the Leaders Lab, we talk all things entre leadership, communication, and balance as a millennial professional. And today I want to begin by asking you a question. Are you struggling in the area of focus and determination? Are you struggling with discipline? Are you struggling with your motivation? If so, then please understand that you are not alone. In fact, today we are very blessed and fortunate to have a special guest with us in the lab, all the way from the Netherlands. And we're going to be talking about how to stay focused and determined when working towards your goals. And so, just to tell you a little bit about our special guest, his name is Ricardo Koch, and he is also known as Ricardo the Dream Expert, who, based on his knowledge in the field of theology and psychology, he has been giving practical tips to mainly young people for 16 years through lectures, training courses, guest lectures, television programs, theater shows, music, books and columns and podcasts. And also, he's been helping people to realize how to live out their dream and purpose in life. And so, entre leaders, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please put your hands together and help me to welcome to the Leaders Lab, Ricardo the Dream. Welcome to the Leaders Lab, sir.
So, what an introduction. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm getting better at these introductions.
I love this. I love this. We learn it in our church too. I love this. But when you are the one who introduced, I need to be. I'm a little bit shy, but I love it. I love it. Good to be here.
And all the way from China, and also 88% of our listeners are actually in the United States. Let me just say welcome internationally, all the way from the Netherlands. We appreciate you being here in the lab with us today.
Yeah, I love it to be here at the Leaders Lab. Something I never thought I would say about myself, but I'm here, so that's a miracle itself. Let's say it.
So tell us your story. I mean, I know we're going to get into how to stay focused, we're going to get into that, but tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us your story here. How
A
did you
little
become the dream expert? And what does that even
uh,
mean?
Now, to be the dream expert is something I already was, but I didn't knew. As a young child, I had not the most easiest childhood. My parents were divorced when I was 7 in a terrible
Wow.
divorce. With my brother, little brother, and my sort of sisters. Long story. I experienced a lot of rejection, also from church members, where going bullying, depression, a lot of stuff. But in all the things that I going through, I still and I was a dreamer, and I had a picture. This what I want to do, and even
Yeah.
in the things that look a mess, I see something beautiful. because that's
Wow.
what dreaming is. You see potential in things that doesn't look like there is potential in it. Even though I experience all this kind of stuff, and the most difficult is to learn to communicate and live with people, because for me as a Christian, living with God and talking with God and communicating with God was easy, piece of cake. I
Yeah.
can't imagine that that will be difficult. But with men, I didn't know, because the double agendas, and they say that one thing and do the other and all kind of stuff. And at a certain moment, yeah, that's not possible because the reality says, and I say, yeah, but the reality says 100 years ago there won't be mobile phones. How do you mean it's not possible? So I faced, because of that, a lot of pressure, a lot of negativity. And when I was 22, I go to addiction clinic, and not I thought for drugs and alcohol, but in the end, because I become addicted to being approved by people. So being the clown in class, and being on stage from that until that moment was a little bit my addiction, because I had a lack of it. I had a lack of being approved. You know what I meant?
Yeah, I know what you
I
mean,
see
but
you
I
look.
have no because
I see you look.
I'm
So I see everything.
listen. No, now okay, but hold on. Is this something that you all have, like that you all do in the Netherlands? Because let me tell you something. We have people who are addicted to approval, but I've never in my life heard of someone going to an addiction clinic
Yeah, but
for being
for the
addicted to
addiction
approval.
clinic, they
That's
didn't know that.
amazing.
The addiction clinic was just for drugs and alcohol. I realized I had a problem, and because I in that last year before I go to the addiction clinic, I realized that because of the addiction of approval, I found friends, they used drugs, alcohol, and when you go seven
Wow.
days to your friends, not for the drugs and the alcohol, but being approved. And if you're using it, they approve you, then you go to the drugs and alcohol clinic. But in that clinic, I discover something, that when I'm alone, I don't have any problems with drugs. I don't have
Wow.
any problems with alcohol. I can still drink one beer, no problem. So I was thinking, this is not my problem. And why I cannot relate to this? And I discovered that I was addicted to approval of men because I had a lack of it. And that was something that I had to overcome in those years. And not only in my head, but sometimes you know it in your head, but
Mhm.
also in my emotions, in everything I am, before I could step into my dream, because my dream was there when I was 7, 8 years old already. But what my mother always learned, they say it, your dream brings you to the destination, but your
Mm.
character holds you there. And
Yes.
most people, they say, I want to be quick, a star, a big entrepreneur, or singer, or famous, or doesn't matter what, great family, a wife, a husband, it doesn't matter. But we want it quick, the McDonald's
Mhm.
society.
Yeah.
But I think that most people want more if they realize, not only for a moment, but stay there for the rest of their life, for the next generation, the generation after that. But you need character that needs to build. I had to learn that I'm now on that point that people can say a lot of nice things or not nice things, but it doesn't say anything about me. And it's not just something in my head, it's something in my whole feelings. I discovered it's 22, 7 years ago, in my
Mhm.
emotions, that, doesn't matter what I'm doing, I'm approved. It doesn't matter what you say. And I
Yeah.
feel it. I can lay on my couch watching Netflix at the end of the day. Ricardo, I'm proud of you. And
Yeah.
I didn't do anything useful. And that's something I had to learn to before I could step into my dream in the Corona time. Because in the Corona time, I lost my job. I had a television program that I could make for national television. I had a comedy show coming up. It's all gone because of Corona. 10 years ago, I go into the depression. And on that moment, I think, okay, there's no lack of solutions, only of creativity. Ricardo, what do you have in your hands? A little bit
Mhm.
like God, like God said to Moses. We had some simple cameras, and I said to two friends, I don't know what we're gonna do, but let's sit in the park and just talk what we could do. 6 months later, three people joined us. We were with six. We were with six instead of three. We're now with a team of 15. We make television programs, podcasts. I wrote my book. We reach more and more people, and it's going fast, but still it's not going fast because sometimes I want more views, of course, because I want
Of
to reach
course.
more people.
Of
But at the
course.
same time, I say to my team, you know, it doesn't matter. Let us grow slowly because I don't want to build something for just one generation. We want to build it
Mm.
for more generation, for the generation of my daughter, she's 6, for her children, for their children. So
Yeah.
let's build it slowly. Let all the others build it quick and fall quick. No problem. We build it. Because if you go too quick, your leaders can't handle it. So
Now,
that's a little
what
bit.
if you grow too quick? Your leaders can't handle it.
Yeah. Because if the character is not yet built for. If you go to the sports school, to the sports, and you want to you want to lift 100 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
but you are not trained, it
Yeah.
won't work. But you start with a little less, maybe 5 pounds first, and go to the 100 pound. You need to
Yeah.
train yourself to that point that you can lift it. And that's with leadership the same. You
Yeah.
can put a leader who is a leader all 2,000 people directly, but he gonna fall, not because he's bad, he's
Yeah.
not yet ready. So that's something people measure me a lot with Joseph from the Bible, and I
Mm.
love the story of Joseph, but when they say it, I doesn't like it because his story is a nice story,
Yeah.
but it's a painful story. And I
Yes.
know that. But to be honest, it is my story.
Wow.
Joseph was a dreamer,
Wow.
but he was 17 when he got the dream, and he was 13 when he stepped into the dream.
That's right.
And God need to change him. His character need to build from, let's be honest, arrogant guy, because that is what he was, to
Yeah.
a humble guy that could serve. Because leadership is all about serving.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's a little bit about my story in a
Wow.
short summary.
I was smiling when you mentioned I've heard it actually quite a few times when we're talking about how we say that talent is the thing that gets you to a place, but it's your character that keeps you there. So many times we struggle. We struggle with
Mhm.
having the right types of character for the dream that we're trying to carry or for the aspirations or for whatever it is. So in the brief part of your story that you shared, there was just so much to unpack. Like I was like, oh, I want to ask about this, or I want to ask about that. I want to ask about that. It was just a lot. It was a lot, Ricardo. I was just
I
like,
know, I know.
wait a minute.
That's why I
He
say
does
a short
comedy?
summary. I leave a
I
lot
was
things
like,
out.
you do comedy? Like what? And, okay, wait. And church hurt, you're talking about all of these things. And I'm like, I know that there's an entre leader that's listening right now who can relate to at least one part of your
Mm,
story. It's so multifaceted. And so one thing that I did want to, talk about, you talked about your character being the thing that keeps you, I guess we could say, like in the place of your blessing or in the place of your promise or
yeah.
whatever it is. What are some of the flaws, the character flaws that maybe you've seen through your study of psychology or study of theology that
Mm.
can cause people to lose motivation, or even to I don't want to say be demoted, but to lose that opportunity? What are some of the character flaws? If they don't have the right character to stay in a place, what are some of
Uh,
those character flaws?
I have just one answer.
Oh
And
goodness.
we see it in
Okay.
theology, we see it in the Bible. I always refer to David and Saul. They are the best
Uh-huh.
example of this.
Uh-huh.
Both
Okay.
were anointed or
Yeah.
talented, like some say, but let's say anointed. But one
Yeah.
stays there and one not. And in psychology, in Holland, we had some months ago, and I know the leader of it with The Voice. In America, they have the program too. It comes from Holland.
Yeah.
and there was a big sexual scandal because some coaches they got over some sexual boundaries with candidates. Things what I saw, and I keep myself quiet for a long time, even though people ask me, even in media, to say, is the problem is not to go over the sexual boundaries. Of course, that's bad. But the problem
Mm-hmm.
is the people there, they got their identity out of the function. And because of
Mm.
that, they becoming bright mostly, or if you got out of your function, you're a candidate, you want to prove yourself, so you do too much to earn it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in all kind of stuff, it's just building your identity on the wrong foundation. That's and that comes pride or insecurity, but pride and insecurity, anxiety, they all have the same root. It's all
Okay.
about that identity on the strong foundation, and in our society, and especially in Western society, we build our identity on what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, if you don't do something, or you lose your job, or you lose your wife, or you lose, name it, you're nothing. But
Yeah.
that's a lie. Let's be honest. You are not what you're doing.
I like that.
What you're
You're not
doing, it
what you're
comes
doing.
out who you are.
Yeah.
So you need to discover without something to do who you are. I like the story of Jesus when he get baptized, and God says, "This is my beloved in who I'm well pleased." Before that moment, Jesus didn't do anything. He didn't do any miracle. He didn't do
Mm.
anything at all. And
Mm-hmm.
still he get a compliment. That's strange in our
Wow.
Western world.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's that one thing.
So pride or
Yeah,
no,
pride.
showing
Yeah, the wrong foundation, and pride is one of
yeah.
the one of the fruits of it. But insecurity
Wow.
also, anxiety, worries, they are all from the same root.
So and that root is misidentifying or finding your
Yeah,
identity in the title instead of
building your identity in everything that's outside who you really
okay.
are.
Ooh. So that's the biggest character flaw, which honestly, if and for those of you who are like who are watching, again, I told you that our special guest today is from the Netherlands. And so actually in the Netherlands, the first language is not English, it is Dutch, correct?
Yes, that's true.
So he is multilingual,
But the
he's
Netherlands is second on the list of that can speak English. So
okay.
if you go to the Netherlands, everyone, maybe the oldest from 80, 90, 100, but everyone under the 60, under the 70, I think also they can speak and understand English very well.
That's
But
awesome.
our prime minister, he talks with a big accent, and yeah, everyone laughs about it. But we love him.
So the reason I brought that up is because if I were to basically take what Ricardo said and I guess simplify it, I would say that the biggest character flaw is not being authentic,
Yeah,
is not being true to yourself, is not
yeah,
being who you really are, right?
yeah.
It's not being who you really are. It is, like he said, finding or well, I guess finding, but yeah, basically saying you are someone based on the title or something else, even not even that, like basically trying to be somebody who you are not.
You try to prove yourself instead of being yourself.
Wow. You tried to y'all, that's a tweet. That is a tweet. Y'all need to he said you tried to prove yourself instead of being yourself. Wow.
And let's be honest, that's the culture of the Western society.
Uh-huh.
I don't. Sometimes people say, "Why are you always so directly?" But I'm like a doctor. Yeah, you're. Yeah, I'm Doctor Anders, but I'm like a doctor. A doctor says what's wrong and wants to help someone to fix it. Don't say, "Yeah, but everything is all right." So yeah, it's just we need to know that this is the problem, and a lot of leaders. Let's be honest. I love all leaders. Let's
Yeah.
say that first. But a lot of leaders, even in church, and for me that's more terrible, they they reject this state where people are in, where our Western society is in. Yeah, but everything is all right and everything is coming. No, you need first say what is now the state before you can fix it. If you have cancer and you go to a doctor first he takes some tests and say you have cancer, and then he goes, okay, now we have to diagnose. How are we gonna fix it?
Yeah.
And that's with if you lack on focus or determination, first go, what's the root of it? This is
Yeah.
the state. That's not a judgment, but that's just, okay, we know where we are and now how we're going to
Mm.
fix it.
Okay. I guess indirectly, you mentioned determination and focus. Why do some people struggle to stay determined and focused once they have, like, a mission or a goal, or, they're like, this is what I'm going to do? What do you think?
Two things. First, we need to split them up because focus and determination are two totally different things. Just start with focus. It's a little bit like a kid, and I've ADHD, so I know a lot about focus and how to
Okay.
get distract. But I can focus very well. And when you're still in the like a kid in the playing phase of your life, playing period, then you are
Mhm.
discovering stuff, then you can try to focus yourself, but it doesn't work. In other words, some people think they know their mission, but
Mm.
to be honest, they don't know it for sure yet.
Wow.
And that's not something wrong, because my daughter, she doesn't know her focus and which sport she want to do and all kind of stuff. She likes a lot. She likes the
Yeah.
football, the hockey, and all kind of stuff, and that's okay because that's the period that she is in. So
Yeah.
it's okay to be in that period. So just enjoy that period. Write down where you enjoy the most. Find your focus in the stuff that you like the most, because I know for sure your mission, your goal, your purpose, you call it what you like, your dream is always in the field where you enjoy yourself the most.
Oh, I love
Always.
that.
That's life. Life is to be happy. God made us to have a happy life, to have a joyful life. To I want my daughter to be joyful and happy. So that's where we need to be. So when you are in that
Okay.
play around, and some entrepreneurs are still, yeah, but I don't know. I got a lot of ideas. Which one do I need to choose? And some say, I hear that a lot, business coaches, and I have always confrontation with them. They say, choose one which makes the most money. And I say, no,
Mm.
leave them and just play around. It's okay. And if you didn't get not yet enough money, take a job behind it for the money, or but just play, because you will find it out. Because for me, this title, the Dream Expert, is just, until 2 years ago, I talk about a lot of topics and very well. And I was thinking, okay, people will be inspired to all this topic. But what is that common ground?
Yeah.
I didn't know, but I was still preaching, I was still teaching, I was still doing my television programs, all kind of stuff. I was just thinking, you know what? I just keep doing it. And I changed it because business leaders said, but on a certain moment, I leave it. On a certain moment, I
Yeah.
thought, this common ground, it is dreaming. And my team says, yeah, we know it already. You're the dream expert. They
Mm.
knew it already, and they know me for a long time. So that playtime is good to find your focus, and just write down where you enjoy, but don't say, yeah, but this is more money. No, leave it. That time
Yeah.
it need to be there. If a child doesn't have that playtime, it will be terrible when they grow
Yeah.
up. So that's about focus. Before I go on.
Okay. So are there specific habits that make it easier to focus and to stay determined?
With this, with habits, of course there are specific habits in a general way, but I doesn't like to talk a lot about general habits in a big way. In Because what I say about Western society, a lot of people, we got a quote earlier. They try to prove themselves instead of being themselves. If I
Yeah.
know, of course there's certain habits, but I think the best habit you could have is when you find your focus, keep clear what the destination will be, even though it will be different, and keep your
Wow.
mind on that. And sometimes you take a path to the left or to the right, that's okay. Don't blame yourself because you're already loved. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to do something to be loved or to be approved. That's why it's so important. And
Mm-hmm.
go back on track. And I think that's the only general habit, because I can give also specific habits, but I know what will happen to a lot of viewers and listeners. Because of our Western society, we hear a lot of knowledge from business coaches and from leaders and all kind of stuff, but we're still in the proving ourselves to be someone mode. So I give you this habit that people think, oh, this works for him. I do the same thing also, but I want to bring people in a space where they, of course, they find a focus, what it may be, make it clear for yourself. Don't need the approval of men anymore, and even when you get distracted, get back on track. I think that's the general habit you need. And all that small habits, get early to bed, and I heard it all. I think you do.
Mm-hmm.
It are good habits, but find that out for you what works. Some works with a lot of structure, some like a little bit more chaotic, and it's all
Yeah.
okay. But the general habit is okay, and the others, if I give it, they want to prove to self. And leaders, stop with that. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need the approval of man.
So then if we're focusing on focus and determination. I know I didn't mean to say it like that, but it came out that way.
Good joke.
Um
You can do
what
comedy.
but we did good. We did good. Um then my question is, like, what are some of those moments when it's hardest to stay focused and determined?
Uh,
Like, what are some of those moments when it truly is hardest to stay focused and determined?
for me, there are two moments. Let's first, me as a leader, entrepreneur, when I'm surround myself with people that go in the other direction.
Wow.
Because when
Whoa,
you find,
whoa. Wait a minute. Nope. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, now listeners, entreleaders, viewers, entreleaders, I am going to let him explain that and to finish, but that just hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know what it did for you, but the question I just asked him, which he was not aware of this question. Okay. I said, what what are some of the hardest moments to stay focused and determined? And he said it's when he is did you say following the people who are going in opposite
now, when I'm
direction, or
surrounded myself with people who go in the other direction.
my God. Woo!
Because that is the second thing to explain this. When you got your focus, because your dream is your focus, your mission is your focus, your life focus, and then we come to determination. Everything you do, align it with your focus. So,
Yes.
which wife or husband do you choose? Your first question need to be, when you, before you want to date to someone, is how do you see your life in 10 years? Is everything is possible? If they say something that you say, this is my worst nightmare, don't go on a date with them, because
Mm.
you will never determine and go to your dream. Not because they are bad or you're bad, but they go in the other direction. The friends you choose, the place you want to live, the maybe you have a job beside your business, the job you choose. Even you do a side job, choose a job that's in line with your mission. Everything you do, put it in line with that. And for your friends and for your relationship, is more important, because the people you hang around with, you will become like them.
Wow. Yes,
Now,
that's true.
if I look at a group of friends, I know exactly how that people is, or how that guy or that girl is. I see a lot of young
Okay.
people. Our main target goal is 16 to 25, so I got a lot of young people, and they're struggling with dating. And, and
Okay.
and then comes a boy or a girl, and they say, "What's now the biggest advice?" I say, "Okay, you like that girl, you like the boy. The first thing I advise you is not stalking." I say that always, but just observe how they are,
Uh-huh.
how they are with
Wow.
the friends without knowing that you like them. And if you think after that, I still like this person,
Mm-hmm.
you can get to know them.
Wow.
If not, run away. but but the same is when you grow older. People say, "Yeah, I'm addicted. I have all this kind of problems." I don't want to judge you, but all your friends are addicted person, and they are not bad. I don't say quit with them directly,
Yeah.
but if I was you, seek also people who are already who you want to be to hang with.
N- Yes. Yes. I 1000% agree.
Yeah,
1000% agree. There's a saying that is completely grammatically incorrect, but it says, who you be with is who you be like.
yeah,
You know, who you be with is who you be like. And if you really want to change your destination, you need to change your association.
yeah. And that
That's what I fully believe.
and that's because I said this sentence a lot in Holland. We have a saying. It says,
What is it?
uh,
What it is it in Dutch? Say it in Dutch
zoals
first.
de mens is, zoals de mens denkt, zo is hij. Like the man says, like the man thinks, that's how he is. It's also from the Bible. But
I was
I
about to
go
say that's
further.
biblical.
But I go further. Like the man says, like the man thinks, that's how he is. Like the man is, that comes through what he hears, because faith and your belief comes by what you're hearing. If you're hearing
Yes.
all the day, and that's why your surroundings are important, if you're hearing all the day
Mm-hmm.
your friends say nothing is possible, we are so worse, this neighborhood, no one will gonna make it here, you gonna believe that it's true.
That's
And
true.
because you believe that, that's how you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Not because it is the truth, but
Right.
you believe it is the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about belief. We are in everything we do. If we are atheism or not, we are belief beings. Everything we do is belief.
True.
But because maybe there are not Christian viewers they watch this, but when you are on the traffic light and it goes on green, that's belief, because you don't know that the other traffic light is on red. You are trusting, because that's belief, trusting the traffic light that the other is on the red and that person is gonna stop.
Right. Right.
But you don't think about it. You just walk or you just drive. And
Wow.
we do that in everything we do. But that's your whole belief system is so important. And that's why your surroundings are important. That's why if you
Wow.
love some teachings, listen it over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You need to hear things. That's why a lot of psychologists some years ago they don't do it a lot anymore. They give the exercise to people with a low self-esteem to
Mm.
stand before the mirror and say to yourself, "I'm beautiful," and not one day, but over and over again for months. Why?
Wow.
And people say, "Yeah, do I need to say it?" Yes, you need to say it out loud because you need to hear it. Because if you don't hear it, you don't gonna believe it. And
That's
if
true.
you don't believe it, you don't gonna internalize it and be it. And if you don't be it, you cannot act like it.
Yeah.
That's the whole, and that's the system. If you know how the system works, success is just naturally. If you don't know, you mess up every time. Not because you're bad, because you don't know the system. If you know how the system of a guitar works, you can play
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah.
If you don't, I don't want to listen to you as a
That is
guitar
not making a
player.
joyful noise. That is not
Yeah, but
making a joyful noise.
yeah, let's say it in that way, in a positive way. But that's with everything. If you know the
Yeah.
system, you will never mess up anymore. Did you think how? How could it be 10 years ago? And
Mm-hmm.
now, because you understand the system. And if
Yeah.
you understand the system of a man, that's all about determination. It's naturally when your surroundings, everything is in line with your focus, with your dream, you will be determined. But because even though you don't feel like a day, we all have.
Yeah.
You have people around you when you are strong, when you are weak, they are strong. They say, "Why you want to go there? We're going there together. What's the matter with you?"
Yeah.
And not because they have to, but it's naturally for them and for you because you want to the same direction. So even though you don't feel like you're in that weak moment, there are others around you. They go the same direction and they take you.
So following, making sure that you are not being surrounded by people that's going in the opposite direction or doing something that does not align with your goals.
Yeah.
So, you had mentioned, we were talking a little bit about character. Um, and I know some of the primary some of the key areas that you really focus on, with your practice, with the things that you share and encourage others with your audience, is about determination and about focus and about having the right type of character, right? Having the right type of
Mm.
character. One question that I like to ask guests frequently on the Leaders Lab podcast is, what is the number one character trait that you believe every leader should possess? What is the number one character
It's
trait
that's
that you believe
easy.
every leader should have?
That's
Okay.
so easy. Now it's easy to say, not easy to do. Humility. Humility. Out of love. I say that after it because some are humble because they don't feel the self worth, but humble out of a healthy identity. Because
Mm,
as a leader, you know you're there to serve them. You're there that the people that you may lead will be better than you.
yes.
And if you aren't humble, then you think that people are there to serve you. But that's
Mm,
if you think that about leadership, stop directly with being a leader.
yeah.
Stop. If you can't handle to serve all the time and to see people growing better than you and growing higher than you, if you can't handle that without having sort of feeling that you're feeling bad and being jealous, don't be a leader. Sorry,
Mm.
but that's also the truth. Don't be a leader. Run away because not everyone is a leader. And if you don't, be happy. I say to a lot of
Yeah.
people, if you aren't a leader, run away and be happy with it. Because I was 90,
Yeah.
I was 2 years, I was already a leader. I say I don't be a leader. I
Hmm.
was 2 years in a leadership position. I'm not a leader. I'm not a leader. It was some friend on a beer who says, a girl that I know from church, and she said, Ricardo, are there some people that are following you and seeing you as example? And with my teeth on each other, I had to say like this, okay, I'm a leader. In my head,
Uh-huh.
I was thinking, you I was so mad because I don't want to be a leader, not because I understand what it meant to. It's such a big responsibility.
Such a big
Everything
responsibility.
my team does, the 14 people, it's my fault.
Wow.
In turn, I can say to them, "Hey, you can better do this." But to the external world, you need to have me. I'm the shield of the organization. You need to blow me.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
and that's a big responsibility. When I go to heaven, God asked me for my responsibility also as a leader.
That's right.
How do you care for them? So if you are not called to be a leader, don't do it. And this is some message I need to share this
I love it.
because a lot of people want to, but even followers are equal to leaders in word. In word, they have other position like in a body. A hand is
Hmm.
something else than a feet, but followers they are equally worth. We think leaders are more worth than followers.
Wow.
No, So humble, being humble, that's number one key in a healthy way.
I love it. Thank you for that humility. Thank
Yeah.
you very much for that. Um, Actually, I believe we've actually had that being said before on this show. So it's not the first time that our entre leaders have heard humility is, one of the top characteristics of that a leader should have,
Mm.
so I thank you so much for that. Now, as we're bringing our very special segment to a close, but you mentioned that you write books. You have a plethora of things that you do, but you did mention that you write books. Would you mind
Yeah.
telling us a little bit about I guess, your books or your latest book? Tell us something about it.
Yes. Now, I before Corona, I had to write a whole book, but it was 200 pages. That was called Fearless. But because we started with the organization and we're targeted or mainly focuses on the young generation, 60,
Mm-hmm.
25 years old, but also other ages coming by and see us and want to know us. But because of that, I was thinking, yeah, 200 pages for that audience, it's a little bit too thick. That's
Mm-hmm.
too much pages. So I was thinking, okay, how can we bring this in a way that, because when I teach, they ask it. I was thinking, you know what? I'm gonna rewrite it and put it into
Mm-hmm.
16 parts. The first three parts of it are already launched.
Mm-hmm.
So 16 pocket books from 80 till 100 pages, but in pockets, so you can put it in your pocket, in your bag or something. It's easy to read in a practical way with insight. Now, like I talk, but a little bit slow because I talk
Mm-hmm.
faster than most people read.
Okay.
So the first three books, The System for Success, The Root of Fear, and The Message of the Cross, are already out.
Oh,
This year,
wow.
the next three books will also be launched in Dutch and
Wow.
English. So
Wow.
and you can read them individually. You can read them individually, but I highly recommend to start with part one and then part
Okay.
two and then part three, because there is a logical system in it. We talked about system already. So I know for sure when you're gonna read this and just taking it in you, not trying to change yourself, because one of my first chapters of the System for Success is the basic for change is stop changing yourself.
Wow.
And
I
that
love
sounds
it.
a little bit strange, but it's like putting a
No,
ball on the water.
it's
When you put
right
pressure
there.
on it, it stays there. But when you
Uh-huh.
relax, it pops up. Now, most change
Wow.
we do is like that, but the
Yeah.
change I want to give to people is in a relaxed way, just giving you new information, hear it, teach
Yeah.
it, have the good surroundings, and a certain way you're gonna change without knowing that you're changed. That people say
Wow.
around you, Ricardo, like I had when I was younger, Ricardo, you're changed. I was thinking, oh yeah? But when I was younger, my mother says always, I put some sausage on me, like fake change. You put some sausage on it and
Oh.
it goes away.
Oh.
That is the way I want to change people, in a way that even you don't have to force, but you're gonna see the change. So that's through the books. You're gonna find that out of that, and because of that, we want to give a special offer to all these beautiful listeners, audience, followers of you as a leader. And on every book, the three books, give a 40% discount, not on the
Wow.
total price, but on every book. But then you need
Okay.
to order it not through Amazon, because if you go to Amazon, the discount we cannot give it to you. Normally,
Okay.
it's in most are from the United States. In dollars, normally it's a book $5.35. But with the
Okay.
discount, you get a book for $3.21 with the
Oh,
code
wow.
that's now into the screen for three
Yeah.
months from now. So it's exclusive. It's not. I'm
That's
gonna
awesome.
listen it, and 1 year, over 1 year, no, for 3 months. So if you want this, it's a small investment.
Yeah. So if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, check the show notes. But it is www.books.fearlessgeneration.nl. N as
Yeah,
in Netherlands, L as in
yeah,
land. I guess you could say that, right?
yeah.
But so it is www.books.fearlessgeneration.nl. Again, you can actually just go to the show notes and check that out. And if you're watching the video version of this on YouTube, you see the screen here, and you can also go into the description box below and click on the link from there. And the discount code that you can use over the period of 90 days or so is Dr. Charity TV 2002-0908. I know if it seems like it's a bit long to remember, just show notes, audio version, description box, video version, already taken care of you.
If you want something, you need to do something for it.
Yes,
So
they
just
making you
check
work
the
for it
show
a little bit.
notes.
Making you work for it a little bit. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Bible says
Listen,
take it with violence. The how do you say it? Yeah, it's a literally translation from Dutch.
well, listen, I want to say thank you so much, Ricardo, the dream
Expert.
expert. Yeah, the dream expert. I want to thank you so much for being with us in a Leaders Lab on today. And tell the people, how can they get in contact with you, or how can they connect with you?
The first, Charity, thanks for having me. It was an
It's my
honor to
pleasure.
be here and to speak with you. How can they contact me? They contact me on a social media, Ricardo PI Cock. It's on, I think, on the show notes or on the screen. But also you can go to the website ricardocock.fearlessgeneration.nl or fearlessgeneration.nl. That's the organization website.
Mhm.
And what I always say, and I can say it now freely because my team is not right here, because here it's Sunday in the Netherlands. If you have any idea or you want help from something, don't be ashamed to give me a mail or a message. I always respond, not always the same day, because of the load of comments. But if there is a possibility that I can help someone to get them on track, or help them to find thing out, or give them advice, or it doesn't matter, I'll be there. That's my job. Let's say that now, my job, that's my calling, that's who I am. So give
Yeah.
me an email or on socials. Go to the website. Don't be ashamed. Even the smallest question, what I say, normally I lead 16 to 25 years old. They come up with the most silliest questions, and I love it. You can never ask too much. You can
Wow.
only know too much.
Yes, I love it. Excellent. Well, thank you so much again, Ricardo, for being with us in the Leaders Lab on today. We appreciate your presence here, all the way from the Netherlands. We say welcome once again.
Am I the first from the Netherlands, or?
Yes, I've never had anyone from the Netherlands. You so far you are the first and only from the
I
Netherlands.
provide the way for Dutch people.
I love it. He's pioneering. He's pioneering, ladies and gents. I appreciate that so much. And listen, Entre Leaders, I want to thank you for listening and for tuning in to the Leaders Lab podcast. You know, we have been rocking and rolling very, very steady since last year when we started at the very beginning of 2021. And so I cannot express my gratitude enough for your presence and for your continued support of the Leaders Lab podcast. It humbles me to know that what I am bringing, who I am bringing, all of these amazing international, these global leaders, that bringing them to you is actually helping. You know, hopefully you're getting some valuable information. And don't forget that you can also connect with me. Let me know on social media how you are enjoying the episode. You know, if you want to get in touch with Ricardo, the Dream Expert. You have his information there, but don't forget you can also get in touch with me as well. And if you are interested in being a guest on the Leaders Lab podcast, you can send us an email right here on the screen or check the show notes, the Leaders Lab podcast at DrCharityTV.com. If you want to send in a testimonial or, share something that you have learned that has benefited you, send it to the Leaders Lab podcast at DrCharityTV.com. Don't forget, you can also connect with me on social media everywhere. Just go to my Linktree /DrCharityTV, and you will see my Instagram, my YouTube, my Facebook, for now, my Facebook, Twitter. I think it's even Pinterest and TikTok up there. Everywhere I am at DrCharityTV, including LinkedIn. And I so appreciate your presence here with us in the lab. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you go and you check out Ricardo's latest books. And once again, let me put this back up on the screen for you. You can get a 40% discount for the next 90 days, 3 months only, okay? If you use the code that is on the screen, also provided in the show notes, and also in the description box on the video version. And I want to say thank you so much to all of our entre leaders near and far for tuning in this week's very special episode of the Leaders Lab podcast. And I'll see you all next week in the lab.
Thank you for listening to the Leaders Lab podcast. Visit our website at www.drcharitytv.com